For being with us for Fox 10 News at 5, I'm Byron Day. Lanice has the night off.
We came around the corner and the police officer said, y'all need to go back in the courthouse. He didn't say anything about active shooter or anything like that. You just need to go in the courthouse.
Fox 10 News continuing to follow the latest in that hours-long standoff in downtown Mobile today. The man that you see in the white hoodie inside that silver car holding officers at bay for more than 5 hours. The standoff ended a little more than an hour ago with the sound of gunshots. Mobile Police Chief Paul Prine telling Fox 10 News the man ended up shooting himself in the head as officers were firing tear gas into his car. He was rushed to the hospital, his condition unknown right now. I'm Byron Day. Thanks for staying with us throughout the day. The whole thing started around 10 o'clock this morning. And we're continuing our team coverage with our Lee Peck. And Lee, you've been out there all day long, and it was a tense standoff and really ramped up quickly.
A very tense standoff, Byron. Moments ago, they just opened Government Street back up to traffic. It was shut down for more than 5 hours, like you said. A very tense standoff. It all started around 10 o'clock this morning. The suspect claiming he had been shot to a person. That's when 911 was called. He got inside of his vehicle and was threatening to kill himself with a gun to his head. Of course, Mobile police arrive on scene. The SWAT was brought in, FBI brought in. As they made communication with this person, they identified him, and of course, they're looking at his background to see what they're dealing with. Chief Prine saying they were giving him anything he wanted, of course, within reason, to resolve this peacefully. At one point, we saw a robotic equipment, a robot, rolling across the street. He reached down and got some bottled water. Another time, they sent another cell phone, a direct line, as they tried to keep the lines of communication open. And then it was quiet for a while. They also had a drone out here, but it was very quiet for a while until all of a sudden it wasn't. We heard at least 2 shots being fired from the suspect vehicle. Glass was shattered. He was firing, we're told, at SWAT members. No one within law enforcement was injured, but that's when things definitely took a dramatic turn and things started becoming more aggressive. You could see the stance from law enforcement become more aggressive as they moved closer, carefully moved closer, at which point the suspect then got out of the vehicle at one point, still with a gun to his head. He was on the passenger side. For much of this standoff, he was in the back seat of the car communicating with law enforcement as well as mental health officials. But at one point, he got out of the vehicle with a gun to his head, still threatening to kill himself. He stayed on the sidewalk for about a minute before getting back into the vehicle, back into the back seat, closing the door. At which point, I don't know, some 20, 30 minutes later, that's when he got into the driver's seat and tried to drive off, at which point, I can tell you it was very quick. The SWAT, the tactical unit, pinned the Honda Accord up against the sidewalk through a utility pole, and you could still hear him trying to drive away, at which point you could tell it was really taking a dramatic turn. Moments later, we heard more shots. That was tear gas being fired into the suspect vehicle, at which point the suspect eventually got out. Law enforcement surrounded him, and at some point, according to Chief Paul Prine, the suspect shot himself in the head, a self-inflicted gunshot wound that appears to be life-threatening. He's taken away by ambulance to University Hospital, but a very long standoff, and, you know, we witnessed law enforcement being very, very, they were almost giving him every opportunity to really resolve this peacefully, and that, of course, unfortunately did not happen today. Of course, everybody was hoping it would end safely. Just a very sad day here in downtown Mobile as things were at a standstill for more than 5 hours. Reporting live from Government Plaza, Lee Peck, Fox 2 News.
Okay, Lee, thank you. Fox 10's Ariel Mallory also on the scene for us. And Ariel, you just talked with a family member who gave you new information about the man in that car. Give us an update.
Yeah, I did, Byron. You know, Lee just detailed all of those events that unfolded right here in downtown Mobile earlier when all eyes were on this area. And that family member that I spoke with says he's the brother-in-law to the suspect, and he has a completely different outlook on what happened this morning. But he says he's told by a detective that his family member is still breathing. They were on their way to the hospital when we last spoke with them. Now, we do have video we want to take you to of when all of this happened this morning, as Lee was just telling you all, and that family member member that I spoke with says he has no idea how his brother-in-law ended up down here or how he got hurt. He says that he has severe mental issues and that the man is in his late 30s, early 40s, but he did not tell me his name. He just says that what happened this morning isn't what it appeared to be, and that his family member does suffer from severe mental issues, and they wanted to clear that up. They did not want people to believe that he was under the impression of any drug. They say that they just wanted to get down here as quickly as they could, and they were all watching it live on TV like the rest of us when all of this unfolded, and they found out that it was their family member when they got a call. And he says they were all holding their breath waiting to find out for those 5.5 hours that standoff took place. And take a listen at what he had to say to clear up some of the confusion of what happened this morning.
He did not shoot at the police or anything, so we were just making that clarification. Before you know that it's your family member, still you're praying for whoever it may be, whether it's your family member or anybody's family member. So as we found out that it was our family, we engaged to come down and make sure that everything will go well. And the outcome, we thank the police department and the city officials. They did a wonderful job.
So again, that was Dominique, the suspect's brother-in-law, speaking to his condition of his family member. Like I said, we don't know the latest condition of how he's doing. They just said they were told he is still breathing. Now we're waiting to find out more. I'm going to give him a call later on tonight. He said he's going to keep me updated, and we'll provide you all that information when we have it. Right now, live in downtown Mobile, Ariel Mallory, Fox 10 News.